I am Mythunrun of the Slateport Swampers, and I'm going to be talking about the team that I drafted. I think it's a very flexible team, so here we go. For my first pick, I picked Ninetales. I knew I wanted some kind of weather setter on my team. Weather is one of my favorite strategies to do because for some reason I just really like battle wide field effects like terrain and weather. And I picked Ninetales because not only does it have a pretty good move set and also has a couple niche things I could do. Next up, I picked the 20 pointer in Blood Moon Ursaluna. This is an extremely powerful menace that, while it's not doesn't have the greatest special defense, it has really high HP. Um, has some really powerful moves like Blood Moon, Earth Power, Hyper Voice, has Calm Mind. Things that aren't on this, it has Moon Blast. I believe it also has Moonlights, which might heal more in the sun. I don't fully remember. But yeah, Ursaluna Blood Moon is very scary. Next up, I picked Venusaur. There were a couple Pokemon that I originally chosen but replaced. Venusaur is one of the Pokemon that I chose to replace. I chose it because it has access to chlorophyll and sleep powder, and I really like sleep powder. I originally had Skiploom on this team to kind of give me chlorophyll sleep powder, but I realized that Venusaur existed and is just better, so I replaced it. As a couple other things, since I also have Ninetales, I could run Solar Beam, Weather Ball, things like that. Next up, I picked Hisuian Typhlosion. This is a very powerful Pokemon. Choice Scarf Eruption is known to do unholy amounts of damage. Yeah, also get Shadow Ball, Heat Wave, and Solar Beam for some other really fast damage. Frisk is actually a really good ability for Draft League because it tells you opponents' items, and usually in Draft League you don't get to know that, hence why Frisk from Undertale. Next up, I picked Leafeon. Once again, Chlorophyll. This is a pretty decent attacker. I'm surprised it was only, what, 4 points? It's my bad. Leafeon was 3 points. And that is 110 attack, 95 speed with Chlorophyll. Get access to, like, Solar Blade in the Sun, which hopefully would be up if I'm in Chlorophyll. Get knockoff and sword stance, meaning that if I get a sword stance off, I'm suddenly doing insane amounts of damage. Next up is Lapras. This was a steal, as you can see that this thing has 130 HP, meaning it's decently bulky. Its attacks aren't the greatest, but this is meant to be more of a supporting attacker. Um, with terrestrialization, I can terrestrialize like fire and have water absorb to be immune to lots of water attacks and heal from them. I can even run Surf on a couple mons. Okay, one mon. But mostly this is going to be used as like a supporting Pokemon, and if it gets down to it, Perish Song. Next up, I drafted Bruxish. I hate this Pokemon. Like, this is my least favorite Pokemon. However, I drafted it because of Dazzling. Um, Dazzling is here to stop priority moves. It's like Farigiraf's Armor Tail. Though it does also have Strong Jaw, so I can pressure the opponent into not bringing priority moves, and then just have Strong Jaw with Psychic Fangs, which actually does a lot of damage. Also gets access to Trick Room, which is the only Trick Room, the only Pokemon on my team that learns it. Next up, I drafted another 20-pointer in King Gambit. Not only will this discourage Intimidate from coming out and disrupting my two revealed physical attackers, but it's also really powerful. Like Supreme Overlord can be scary in the late game. Supreme Overlord Sucker Punch, scary. Defiant Sucker Punch is scary. I once tried a strategy where I tested a strategy where a weak Pokemon uses like Bulldoze, a move that lowers speed, and King Gambit uses Endure with weakness policy. I was hoping that with the drop from with the speed drop that would trigger Defiant, but I was wrong, and that makes me sad. Next up is my 1-pointer, Combuskin. Now, this thing can actually do a decent bit. Like, it has speed boost, it has sword stance, meaning that if I get a sword stance off, I can actually do decent amounts of damage. Then finally, for my for my last Pokemon, I picked Luxray. This is an Intimidate Pokemon, which also has the ability to do decent amounts of damage with Guts. Now, it doesn't have that great of a move pool, being, a physical electric type. But it does have some really good coverage moves in Throat Chop and Play Rough. And that was my team. I was looking at the list, and I believe that my hardest matchup would be against Eclipsin, which, funnily enough, is also my round 1 fight. Reason is that not only does Tyranitar outslow Ninetales so that he has control of the weather if we both send him out right at the beginning, there's also a lot of Pokemon that resist, like, Eruption, and basically as an answer to everything on my team. Like, bring out King Gambit, he is a Mienshao. Bring out Ursaluna Bloodmoon, he has a Mienshao and an Inteleon. And a Corviknight. Typhlosion, he has a Scarf Garchomp, outspeeds. There are a lot of scary things on that team. But that is my draft.